Well, you've been around Tyson. You
Yes.
said that Tyson signing to Don King is what ruined him.
Don King was what?
You said that Mike Tyson's career was ruined after he signed with Don King.
Absolutely. When he left Kevin Rooney, his career went down the tubes.
Yeah, I remember when I interviewed Tyson, he talked about beating up Don King.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this story.
I think it was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, if I'm not mistaken.
It was
in Beverly Hills.
The story went, I guess Tyson was high, which, at that time he was getting high a lot. They were on Don
Tyson
King's...
likes his, weed.
His weed. Well, I mean, he was also doing other stuff at certain points, yeah. But I guess they were on Don King's private plane, and at the time, Tyson was having a lot of money problems. So he was like looking at Don King thinking, my money's paying for all this. And then they get in a car and like a Rolls Royce or something, and Tyson's getting even more and more pissed off. And at one point, he just starts beating him up in the car, and he's like chasing him around the car.
I thought it was outside the hotel. I don't know.
No, it was around the car. Yeah.
Well, you got to realize too. I mean, Mike made over $400 million in a ring. And
then the amount of money he made was insane.
And
he was
like,
richer than everyone else during that era.
Then he finds out that Don King's charging him like $10,000 for towels. Ridiculous stuff, charging him, taking his money.
Yeah.
Basically stealing his money. Yeah. And, I heard that about Don with a lot of fighters. I don't even know how he stood that long in the boxing business.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've heard it both ways. Which
story is the truth?
I mean, I think that he had different relationships with different people. Like, I interviewed Michael Nunn, who did some stuff with Don King, and he said, I have nothing bad to say about him. I always got my money, and that's that. When I interviewed Larry Holmes, he worked with Don King too. He didn't really have anything bad to say about him.
Right.
But different people have different relationships, and there was way more money on the Mike Tyson side than with everyone else, so he probably got a little greedier on that. But Tyson's going to fight Jake Paul in November.
Yes.
There is a 30-year age difference between the two. Tyson is 58, Jake Paul is 28. What do you think will happen in this ring?
Realistically?
Yeah.
Mike should knock him out in 1 minute.
Okay.
Come down, one of those body shots, liver shot, come up with the same punch. I mean, he should knock him. But I'll tell you what, and I don't know if you read it, but I challenged Jake like 4 months ago.
Yeah, he's
and said, first of all, I want to congratulate you and your brother. Congratulations on your last fight and your brother, because getting in the ring takes a lot of balls.
Yeah.
I said, I heard you're looking for challenges. You want to challenge Canelo. You want to challenge this guy, Diaz, everybody else. I said, I have a challenge for you. Me. But I'm 71 years old. You don't have to worry about it. But let's make some money together.
He turned you down.
And found out that he actually texted on my social media thing and says, look, that wouldn't be a good idea. In fact, a couple of days I'm fighting Mike Tyson. We're announcing. And 2 days later, they announced that he was fighting Mike. But I give him a lot of credit, because you know what? You're talking about a guy who's fighting, almost 4 years now?
Yeah.
He became so good from nothing. Mm-hmm. And I give him credit. He beat like 3 or 4 MMA guys already.
Yeah,
tough guys.
I mean, I think he transformed the sport. He showed that you could come from a non-traditional...
Yes.
You could be a YouTuber like me, and if you take it seriously and you build up the hype around it, you could make more than the professional fighters. And it brought a lot of money to the sport, brought a lot of fans. Everyone benefited from Jake Paul and Logan Paul boxing.
Look at Logan now. He's wrestling.
He's wrestling? And Logan fought Mayweather.
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes.
He lost.
Yeah.
But he still fought him.
I think Mayweather played with him the first...
A little bit.
4 or 5 rounds, and then it boom, 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 it was over.
Yeah. And plus with the Tyson Jake Paul fight, they're using 14-ounce gloves. So it's not a real...
now...
It's not a real boxing match.
I'm hearing different stories now.
And I think 8 rounds also.
Now it's saying exhibition, not a boxing match.
No. Originally it was supposed to be a real match.
Real match.
But now, once you change up the gloves, it's a wrap. It's not a real...
Change the gloves and no decision now. Come on.
Oh, there's no decision?
No decision. It's an exhibition. Nobody's winning.
Right, because they're only doing 2-minute rounds, I believe, 8 rounds. So yeah, at this point, it's just an exhibition.
I think it's going to be a sold-out arena.
Of course it is.
So I give the Paul brothers a lot of credit, man. They brought it to another level, and they're making money.
But you're predicting that Tyson's going to win.
Tyson should win. Should win. I don't care if he's 58. He's still, he's still Mike Tyson. He can still punch.
Yeah.
And you can see, even though they, cameras, angles, everything up, but he could still. He's Mike Tyson.
Oh, listen.
He knocked guys out with one shot.
Look, I interviewed Mike Tyson, and I pissed him off during the course of the interview, and I was legitimately scared during that interview.
Should be.
I mean, because I was in the ring because we were actually in the ring because we were doing the interview at his boxing ring in L.A. So I'm in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Oh, okay.
And my security is way over there, right? He's not going to get to me in time. If Tyson took a swing at me, I would be hit by Mike Tyson.
At the gym out there?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, in L.A. In Santa Monica.
Tyson Ranch?
Santa Monica.
Oh, Santa Monica, different gym then.
Yeah, not it was just the one gym that he was training at. This was leading up to the Roy Jones fight.
If I was you, I'd be scared too.
Yeah.
Mike.
I'm not going to lie about being scared. It's Mike Tyson.
He's a great guy.
Oh, no, he was great. We were hanging out. We were smoking
loyal,
weed. But, I asked one wrong question, and
that's it, man.
And that's that.
It's like a switch. Boom.
Yeah, but I got him back. I got him calmed down again. We finished the interview, and we laughed about it afterwards. And it made for a good story. It made for great footage.
Mike is a historian on boxing.
Yes.
Like the 1800s, he could tell you what dates, what everything. He'll tell you what dates this fight was, what that fight was. He's an historian on boxing.
And plus, I remember me and Michael Franzese, we had a conversation about this because he did Tyson's show, and they hung out afterwards. And he said the thing about Mike is that he loves the art of fighting. He said that he'll watch 2 bugs fight like the whole night. Like, what I'm saying? He just loves fighting itself. Boxing, MMA, kickboxing, whatever else. He's just in love with the overall sport. And, look, he became, at the time, we thought that this was the greatest boxer of all time, And I think if he didn't go to prison, I think that his career would have been very different. That
was another thing. He went to prison on bullshit stuff.
I heard this as well.
3 years of his most, precious years away from him.
Yes.
And to go to prison because some girl said, that he raped her or whatever, was bullshit. That was all a setup, and they took advantage of Mike, and they fucking sent him. Now, if that happened in New York, she would have got the electric chair.
No, listen, I interviewed Tom Mesereau, who defended Mike Tyson, the lawyer.
Yeah.
And then also Alan Dershowitz, who worked on his appeal.
Yeah.
And, Dershowitz told me that there was witnesses that basically were going to testify that the girl was hanging out with him and she was kissing on him and everything like that, but the lawyer wouldn't allow these witnesses in. You know what I'm saying? And, I remember what Alan also told me was while he was working on his appeal, Mike Tyson was in jail during this time. And at one point, Tyson ran out of money.
Yeah.
And Alan said, don't worry about it. I don't drop clients in the middle of cases because they run out of money. So when you get out, you could pay me at a later point. He said Tyson got out, and the first thing he did was pay back Alan Dershowitz.
Wow.
That's the kind of guy that he is.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you something. That whole thing was bullshit.
Yeah.
A girl comes to my hotel room 3, 4 in the morning. We ain't playing mahjong. We're going to be fucking.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
No, I feel you.
And she had no business. If that's the way she was, I think she got mad because he wouldn't walk her back down to the car or whatever. She got mad.
You got to be. And
he came up with all this bullshit.
To all the men who are listening, this is something I've lived my life on this principle. You never let a woman leave your room mad. Do whatever you have to do at that moment. Humble yourself, apologize, spend some money if you have to. Hey. Make sure she leaves, happy to some certain degree. Because once she leaves that room angry, you saw it with Tupac, you saw it with Mike Tyson, you're going to see it, you're seeing it with Diddy, I'm sure. You're going to see it over and over again. You're going to run into problems. And if you really think about it, right, if Tyson didn't go to prison, he lost to Buster Douglas, which was the biggest upset ever in sports history. But he should have
never been in that ring that night because he was
partying with Bobby Brown the night before.
He was partying the night before everything. You do not do that. And actually, not for nothing. There was a long count with Douglas. He should have won.
I disagree with that. Me and Mike actually even argued about this in our interview. Well, because I interviewed Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson about this. And I watched that tape over and over again. You could say the count was long, but if you look, Buster Douglas was ready to go.
Yeah.
It's not like he barely made the count.
What?
He was already on a knee. He was waiting for the 10, and he jumped right back up.
I'm not trying to take anything from Buster, because that night, Buster
did his thing that night. You got to hand it to him.
Beat anybody.
Yes.
He was on his money.
He was on it. His mom just died.
His mom just died.
Yeah, he was
on it.
something
to fight for.
Yes.
I give him a lot of credit.
Yes.
But look what Holyfield did to him his next fight. Destroyed him.
Mutilated him. And he went into a depression and gained like 400 pounds and went into a diabetic coma. I don't know if you know this part of the story. He went into a diabetic coma because he was so depressed and whatever else. And he finally got out of it and lost weight and, got on with his life. But if you think about it, there would have been, if Tyson didn't go to prison, there would have been a rematch.
Yeah.
Tyson would have definitely won that. Tyson would have taken it 100% seriously at that point. Because I remember I even asked Tyson, I said, what did you think about the Holyfield-Buster Douglas fight where, Buster Douglas basically went down in the first round, was like, give me my money, basically. And Tyson had a very interesting answer. He goes, look, how should I say this? He said, certain of us, we have a bloodline and a pedigree where when you're on that stage, you give it all you got. You put everything into that, and you understand the importance of that. He just felt that at that moment, Buster didn't really care about the title. He didn't care about, the belt. He was just there to collect a check and go on with his life. And he basically said that he was disappointed in what Buster did that night. And I can agree with that.
But they took, like it says, what Mike could have done those 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's why guys pay hookers. You don't pay them for the sex. You pay them to leave.
Right.
Well, that's what.
Let me ask
she was nothing but a hooker either.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Because if you remember, after that whole thing, he raped me, he did this. She was on TV the next day dancing and singing because she was in some kind of contest.
Yeah.
So how?
Beauty contest, yeah.
Yeah, beauty contest or something.
Yeah.
So how emotionally affected were you?
Listen, I think he got hemmed up.
They railroaded.
And
like I said, it happened in New York. I think it was Indiana, if I'm not mistaken?
Something like that, yeah.
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 That's why they wanted to throw the book at Mike. If it happened in New York, she would have got the electric chair.
Well, let me ask you this. If Tyson didn't go to prison,
yes,
he beats Buster Douglas, and then the next fight would be Holyfield. So Mike in his prime, Holyfield in his prime.
Mike would have beat him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At that moment.
Mike would have beat him.
Because I remember I interviewed Holyfield as well. And what Holyfield told me was very interesting. He goes, the thing about Tyson is that he functions off of fear. Everyone he gets in the ring with are scared of him based on what he's done before. He goes, but I wasn't scared of him.
Yeah, and that was so many years later.
What's that?
That was so many years later when Mike was basically.
Well, but Holyfield had already boxed with Tyson early on in their career before they ever got in the ring together. They would spar together and stuff like that. They knew each other from before.
Yes.
And Holyfield's thing was like, I'm not scared of Mike Tyson. Right. And they had this little altercations before, and he's like, I wasn't scared of him. And Holyfield was extremely humble. Like, Holyfield doesn't brag, and, he talked about all the losses and everything.
Holyfield was a great fighter.
He's not only was he a great fighter, but he's a class act.
The 3 fights with him and Riddick Bowe
think about that.
And if you think about Bowe, beat him twice.
Yes.
Could
have potentially beat him 3 times if it wasn't for that flying, the parachute man and all that.
The fan man
fight, yeah. But yeah, I don't know what would have happened. I think it would have been a hell of a war in that ring. Holyfield and Tyson both in their prime at that point.
Now, they fought later on, don't forget.
They fought later on. Tyson had gone to jail.
Yeah.
He lost his edge. But Holyfield legitimately beat him twice.
And when you think about it, Mike gained a lot of weight in jail.
Gained weight.
Yeah,
so, he wasn't the same Mike.
No. No.
Well, there you have it. Chuck Zito, man. We've been trying to do this for 2 years. We finally get around to doing it.
Got it.
And you got your documentary coming out once again. What's the name of it?
Coming. It's called Chuck Zito, An American Story.
There you have it.
And President Trump opens my documentary. It's amazing.
There you have it, man. That's as big as it gets right there. Well, Chuck, man, truly appreciate it. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Until next time.
Great,
Peace.
great.